move to the questions for Dr. Datti-Ahmed. You were asked about your position on education, given the fact that you own a private university, and whether, as vice president, your government will have some sort of clash when it comes to dealing with ASU, who represent teachers in public universities that are government-owned, versus sort of you, who sort of make money from educating people.
I don't make money from educating people. I make a career out of educating people.
Right. Please explain. Your school is not free, is it?
Then existing data, which is verifiable, my friend is welcome, Datti. There is no correlation with the length of time and the number of students in federal universities and state universities out of the classroom and our enrollment. We happen to be completely in different market segments. So there is absolutely no clash of interest between my humble self acting in the capacity of a vice president and how private and public universities are run.
How would you bring your knowledge of education?
Where contradiction will be is while somebody like me will be vice president and ASU would ever go on strike.
Okay, so here is the question.
I would like to do,
yes,
with the kind permission of Mr. President, is the way he says he wants to sit down and dialogue with agitating groups. While he's doing that, I would like another group to quickly sit with ASU and extract a commitment that in that 4-year period, they will not go on strike.
Okay.
So please, there is actually no link between the interest of well-run private university and how ASU goes on strike. In fact, I was most pained all the time for those 8 months. I just cannot believe that the trillions of naira in the Nigerian university system were allowed to waste.
Okay, let's dig deeper a little bit into something you inferred in answering that question, which is that your knowledge of the way education works will come to bear in the way you solve the issues of tertiary education. Talk to us a little bit more about what your plan would be for higher education in Nigeria, and then if we have time, you go into foundational education as well. How are you going to improve education given where it is at the moment?
There is something generic. Permit me to use this analogy of the DNA that composes the cell, that composes the organ, that composes the system of an organism. You see, in the DNA of governance is that function of procurement. You procure security, you procure works, you procure education, you procure healthcare, and where you're not efficient in doing that, all hell will let loose. So there is a generic answer to the specific question you are giving me, and which is bringing us to the systems level I always speak about. If I speak about procurement, it touches education, it touches security, and everything else. So every naira spent in the education sector, and for that matter, any other government function, we are trying to run a government that will extract the fullest value for all amounts spent. That is what we're about. This is the first way to deliver good governance. We will not spend money carelessly in such a way that 90% goes to personal, political, and group interest.
What I'm interested in trying to find out from you and Dr. Datti-Ahmed.
Allow me to finish answering your question.
Okay, but there are people waiting.
The moment money spent on education goes 100% in providing the infrastructure, the equipment, the welfare of personnel and the students, you are retaining 100% of your resources. This is what we stand for. Over and above that, you come to systems, procedures, and practices. And these are places where you have a little tweaking to do. The curricula will go into international best practices, like the best courses that will bring us out of consumption to production.
Right.
Recently, I was pained to hear that a very noble profession was being rubbished by someone who's aspiring to high office. You see, the production of water is life. Water saves life.
And maybe we can relate that to the question on climate change.
Let me finish. And you see, we are looking at areas where you would introduce new courses, clean energy, waste management.
And I really want to dive into them, right? But look at our time. It doesn't seem like it.
When you're asking big questions, you're asking important questions.
I am.
And you're asking questions that mean a lot to us.
Yes, I understand.
So I can take the whole of my energy, the whole of tonight, speaking to you about education.
We don't have tonight.